Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BingPod. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bing. And today, of course, I wanted to talk. So that's why I'm here. Let's talk. Current affairs, this is the update that the United States is at war with Iran. Uh, and so the president bombed like Tehran, I think, and then without congressional approval, which is not legal, it's not correct. And then Iran strategically retaliated by bombing a U.S. military base in Qatar. So that's where we're at. I mean, I think it's literally like minutes by minutes, hours by hours of what's going on. So that's where we're at. And let's see. I mean, that's the major news. I don't know what else is going on. The Diddy case is still going on, and I'm be watching Rotten Mango, or like I kind of like watch and listen because the episodes are really long, and so I'm in the last part of Jane's testimony, and it's just really sad. I feel like it's like horrific what those women and men had to go through, and some people are very sick and twisted. It's hard to believe in this world, but I guess that's how it is. Um, Yeah, so I wanted to kind of talk about three things: moving, success, and relationship. So I think I said this already, but I'm officially going to stay with my aunt in Arizona. I know, hot, monsoons. Why would you leave California? Rent is too expensive. And you know what? With the state of the world right now, I just can't guarantee that I would be able to even get like a, job, let alone pay rent. So, and I think that's fine. Like honestly, what even is work anymore? So that's what's all going on. Relationships, moving, success, movement, and all the things connected to those things. I'm very afraid of like cuz I was a frequent flyer, not like officially, but on paper. Like I was flying often. I've been in airports a lot, and just with everything I mean, I'm sick of the unprecedented times. But with everything going on in the aviation industry, the FAA, and like all the crashes and the flips and the scenes that are coming out of airports and airplanes where people are freaking out. People are freaking out and assaulting other people or like yelling in airplanes and airports. And I've missed flights and cried on the floor, but I have never. Okay, maybe once I was really upset in Guatemala, but it was not like screaming and yelling and kicking and spitting on people. Um, we've lost all humanity and decorum and politeness and manners, it seems. I mean, the airport really is it's a cacophony. It is the cross point of so many different types of people under such under duress. I feel like, you have to get somewhere. There's really nothing going on in airports, and I don't know. So I mean, if America's public transportation sector wasn't so abysmal and we were like China or Japan or Europe, um and you could take like a high speed rail from like one major city to another major city, I would be doing that. But the only like cheap land like thing is bus, which is fine. I feel like I've bussed a lot before. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'm just gonna have to take my Dramamine and just fall asleep and then wake up, and then I'll be there. But we'll have to see. Moving is an Olympic sport. I've always said. I've moved often. I feel like I'm not someone who has often stayed. I don't think I've ever lived in a place besides like when I was growing up in Redondo. like living with my mom, I don't think I've ever stayed in a place for like more than a year. Like in college, you're always every quarter, like I feel like you're moving or changing or something, and then yeah, post I still haven't, like, people say settled or now, but I have never done that. And so I feel like I'm super accustomed to not only like understanding that this is temporary and like sitting in that discomfort of like, okay, well, I'm not really investing. I was just talking to my friend about this. Like, you can't really invest in your home and the comfort of your home when you know you're not going to be there forever. And I feel like I'm always like that. Like, I know this is temporary, so like why would I buy like nice, I don't know, decor or furniture or whatever, because I know I'm not going to be here forever and I'm just going to have to move again or put all my stuff into storage again. Yeah. So it is an Olympic sport. My friend just moved, and yeah, I feel like it's exhausting packing, throwing things away, arranging things, um, reconnecting with old things that you forgot you had, letting go, choosing what stays and what doesn't stay. I don't know. I feel so I'm doing that right now. I just sold my e-bike, which I'm glad because I hadn't been using it. It's just too heavy and it's like too cumbersome for me. And I'm gonna be giving my stuff on free and for sale. I mean, not just like, the free groups on Facebook. And we'll see. It will clear out, and I think I'm gonna put my stuff into storage tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. It's like, again, like I have things, but when it really comes down to things, I don't need a lot of things. Um, and not that but I took my stuff out of storage and now I'm putting it back into storage. Like, I feel like, I'm used to this. I'm used to moving around, a little nomadic. Uh, and I'm really grateful for my aunt, and I think we're both really excited. I think it's going to be a really good move for me because, I love San Diego, and I will definitely be coming. I'll be coming back, but who knows? No one knows. And I think it's good to have a little switch up, a little change of scenery, especially with like the kind of content that I'm trying to do. My aunt and I have already talked, like, Tucson is a cool, and I'm already getting the TikToks. Like, I feel like my algorithm and whatever, whoever's watching me, my Chinese data hacker spies are feeding me new content, and they're like, okay, well, here's what's going on in Tucson. Here's some coffee shops you should check out. So I'm like already excited about it. I know it's going to be hot. I know there's going to be monsoons. And also, I feel like I lived in Thailand. Like, that's crazy. Like, I lived in Thailand. I lived in Beijing, and it's hot and rainy during the summer. So I feel like I've not that it's the best weather, but if you're living there, you're living there. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get used to it, and you're going to deal with it, and you're going to adapt and overcome. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for my aunt. It is really nice because sometimes I get into this mindset like I have no one, and, no one can help me. But I feel like that's just, I don't know what that is. That's just like me lying to myself and like cornering myself, um, because I want to be like hyper independent. But I feel like that's just like not sustainable and it's not the truth. So, when you look into like the relationships that you have, and I us we develop and nurture these relationships, and they can grow into something, and they can grow into something more. Oh, private plane incoming hot. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for my aunt, and I think we're gonna have a good time. I think we're really aligned and we're in harmony right now because we're both super, you know, the people in my life, we're all really in tune because we're all like, I don't know, climate people. So we have to be very in tune with like the political state of everything, and the horrors persist, so do we. So there's that. And then it's like to be able to come together with people that like are family or are very, close to you. I feel like that sense of, I don't know, community or belonging is really important in, times of war and I don't know, whatever, pestilence, I don't know, disease. Those the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So that's kind of where I'm moving towards. I think I hope, we'll see, but I think that we'll probably I think it'd be cool to do a podcast together. Of course, there's like travel content and like places to visit and things to discover. Um, my aunt sent an article and it was about like the magic of monsoon season, and it's like to bring in the rain. There's ceremonies and festivals and things like that. And that's like a worldwide thing. I feel there's a lot of bring in the rain during the hot season, the hot dry season, especially in desert areas. So, yeah. And then kind of to piggyback, oh my gosh, I'm so annoying. The corporate speak, the corporate slash college university speak. Yeah, so to piggyback off of that point, I am kind of, moving away from traditional. I mean, I wasn't ever traditional or conventional, but the conventional, traditional idea of work, I've always criticized it. I've never been one for the rat race. So now that I'm really, okay, so success as society or other people label it and structure it is just not where I'm at right now. So I'm thinking like what is success in terms of like being a digital creator or whatever this is. And of course, like, okay, there are views and like subscriber counts. I feel like something that I'd love to be able to get to is, and I've said it before, like to sustain my lifestyle. So if I am, traveling or living slowly in a place, and especially once I get out of the if when I get out of the United States and the cost of living like decreases by a lot, and then the hopefully the dollar stays a bit powerful. I don't know what's gonna happen. As the geopolitics and the global hegemony, the multipolarity of everything, of it all. So if and I've said it before, like in South America, like I feel like it takes like, 1,000 a month, 1,000 USD a month around, be safe. You're not moving fast. Uh, so I feel like to be able to make that much money, I feel like first of all, I know, Mr. Beast like is making millions of dollars. So I feel like if my goal is to just sustain my lifestyle at the jump, I feel like, to be able to generate like that sort of revenue is like a financial goal. Um of course you want to see like a couple thousand followers, couple thousand views. I feel like that's just like my initial goalpost. And as I grow, I'll discover what success means then. But that's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. Yeah. And I think it's nice because, of course, there's comparison online and numbers and status and all of that. But and I didn't truly work corporate, but I was working with people who, acted in a certain way. And I I think that it's not validation, but the external measures of success put onto you by people who have undisclosed expectations of you. So like my bosses would not tell me things until I've made a mistake and now I'm getting reprimanded for it, or or they would be like, this isn't good enough after I've already, worked on it and showed them and then also followed their instructions. So I feel like it's so much more authentic and true to me to be figuring it out and navigating it in this way than to have to like listen to some old white lady who's so out of touch and so um like asleep and demented that they can't even see the reality of everything, and then to have to work in that space and function and try to achieve success in that space when a success will always be elusive because it's not coming from you. You will never, it's not your success, it's someone else's success, and you don't have ownership even though they tell you things. And you know I definitely am not the best at reading those types of like super hyper layer over layered situations where people are demanding so many things that they're not telling you, and you just don't get it. Like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it, but if there's a lot of other things that I just don't even know is being factored in, or I don't know how you like certain things and I don't care, then it's gonna happen however it happens. um And I feel like it's even more frustrating, and this is me getting heated again, but it's even more frustrating when I look back at my jobs um, at the county, and I not only I feel like I overperformed, I exceeded expectations. I stood on business. I was a star. My the people who managed me loved and respected me, and then the people I managed also love and respect me. And there's no bad blood. We're just trying to get through this. I'm just giving you direction, or you're giving me direction. We're trying to get through this. And and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how much you bring to the table, and if it's different, than what's normal. I feel like it's just it only if you have someone who's a really really insecure manager, a really like, and it's almost beyond insecure, it's they don't know themselves and then they put it on everybody else. I just think you'll never achieve success. There's no success there. You will be burnt and burnt and burnt again. And I feel like I experienced that. I feel like a lot of people, I'm sure, experience it because the mean girls, I mean, all the, what is it, the former popular mean girls, they're probably all in like digital marketing or nursing or whatever. But like when you get to the corporate mean ladies, and they really pick their words, and it doesn't, because I'm a normal regular person, and it was my first like job that was like salaried. I didn't get it. I don't get it because I don't live like that. I don't live in this fake, you know, type of reality that you've dreamed up, where these things that don't matter matter, and then everything that does matter is thrown away. Um all because of ego. It's all this ego. And I'm not foreign to having a big ego. Like, I have an ego sometimes, and I'll have an ego death every once in a while. But if someone else's ego is dictating your work, your life, your time, your money, that's really that's a lose-lose situation. I remember because I've lived here for quite some time. I remember there was once, I don't know what it was, but I remember once I had something at work, and something just absolutely, like, my boss probably did or said something that was just un unbearably unreasonable. And I came out, I had a fit. I screamed and I screamed and I screamed. And I called my mom and I was screaming because I hated her. I hated her with all my guts, and I came in with such good, pure intentions, and I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like people who are manipulative and emotionally what is it? Arrested development, like they just are, they're a big age, but they don't know how the world works because they're stunted for some reason. It's really not my business. Um but you can tell. You can just tell when people, they've they've recluded into themselves, they've isolated themselves from anything that will challenge or build resiliency or build awareness, because that's how they feel most safe, I guess. um and in the end you become some, and I've seen it because I often work with people who are much older than me, and I see when you're at the end, man. You got nothing. You got, your kids don't want to talk to you. You have a partner that you don't care about, but you're stuck with. You're living in a tiny, you know, place, and you're desperate from any sort of, soul connection it's just really sad. Oh, yeah, it's sad. It reminds me of when I was teaching in Thailand, and I was, I'm a bright, fun, bubbly, energetic, friendly, extroverted, intelligent, beautiful girl. Like, people want to talk to me, but it was too much. And I think I've said it before, but my headmaster was literally all up in my business, calling me, calling me, calling me. Like, let me like settle in. I just moved across. First of all, I just backpacked to Vietnam. And before that, I literally flew from San Diego to Thailand. Like, give me a break. Like, chill. I was just like, people are get so, they're so desperate. They're so desperate for anything. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty pathetic. I think my my coworker said that. It's just pathetic. Like, it's just really sad. And then it's like, this is how you've chosen, how you chose to live your life, how you continue to choose to live your life. That is sad. And I'm glad. I think at the end of the day, I'm grateful that I no longer work there. I no longer work for and with people like that, because I learned what I needed to learn. I know about a document, I know about an email, I know how to schedule, I know how to take notes, I know how to organize a meeting, I know how to do events. I've been known, and that reinforced it, especially after like backpacking Asia for a year, because like it changes you. And so I learned, and then I also learned about these dynamics, these people, and especially it's government. And you see it with how not only can Democrats not stand up for themselves and their constituents, which is their job, they're spineless, but and Republicans and their constituents are all just completely, I don't know, I want to say demented, because they're obviously, I feel like a cult is almost too kind, because, well, I guess it is, because cults, I mean, Manson, cults do, you know perpetuate violence. um but yeah, you just see it, like these people who are incompetent, out of touch, full of themselves, and yeah, just they continue to, it's more than ruin. You're killing people. This is what you're doing. If you're not doing your job, you're killing people. I feel at this point, especially when you're doing things that are as important as what some of these people are doing, and what we used to do. Because first, like, we're working here, but putting food on the table for some people is life and death. And I know you want to throw it in my face, acting like I'm a problem, that I don't understand the culture, and you want to be like that, but I don't think you've ever been there for real. Like, I feel like those types of people who take the struggle of the lower classes or minority groups, and then use it to justify their, it's a white savior complex, obviously. They're insecure, they're covering up their insecurities, and they're throwing it in everybody else's face, and then we just got to stand there and take it. like who really made you in charge? Another out of touch, really mean person? Like, is that really? And again, as a young person, and I just posted on LinkedIn a funny little meme, because who cares anymore? Who cares about any of this anymore? I feel like I've heard it a bunch of times. I've heard it a lot of times. I've heard it from my mom and older people. I'm sorry that this is the world. Well, do something about it. You could have done something about it. And it's like, now, like, okay, people like Greta Thunberg and, like, Hassan, and all of these young political commentators that are like, we're now, this is our life, like, there's nothing else we can do except fight, or not even fight. I feel like, let it fall, let it all fall. I mean, and I think especially towards the older generations, where they don't understand how much things have changed, I think, since 9/11, where it's like, and I did a video on this, so it's on my YouTube. It's called In Defense of Gen Z. But okay, so we had 9/11, 2008 financial crisis, Trump, COVID, whatever, wars and genocides and everything, all of it is going on. Like, and we have seen how fragile the system is, and how um immoral the people at the who have all the power at the top. So I've even seen where, like, and maybe this is like a MAGA thing, but people don't even care that, you know Trump is a convicted felon. They don't care that the January 6th people, were violent. Did that. They tried to overthrow. Like, they don't. They. I'm sure they love it, which is very sick and twisted. Yeah, I don't know. It is very sick and twisted, and so it's like, what do you expect from us? Do you expect us to just act like you acted? Because look at the world you left us. You look at the world you're leaving us, and you think you're on your way out, bro? And you're gonna leave us with, I mean, this is an American thing. No health care, college debt, war, insecure, like, food chain, supply chains, and then the culture. I mean, the culture's sick these days. I feel there's like a lot of there's so much commentary, there's so much discourse online, and I get it, but it is exhausting. It is so exhausting. So yeah, I guess, I don't know. That's the end of my long-winded rant. Yeah, so I talked about moving, I talked about success, I talked about relationships. I think I'll talk about more relationships throughout as things progress, and I, settle down now. Southwest on. Yeah, it is a lovely day. I think I'm really gonna miss the, well, who knows? But it is very temperate. San Diego is I like a temperate, I like a crisp 73 to 74, so like 23 degrees Celsius, and a couple clouds, bright sun, blue sky, light breeze, ocean breeze. I love that. That's the best kind of weather. It's not too hot, not too bright. I'm still sunburned. That's crazy. I feel like it's been like a week or two, and I'm still peeling like crazy from this sunburn. Yeah, so I'm healing, moving, and we'll see how it all goes. Um yeah, and I'm back on the social, so check out my, wherever you're watching this, check out whatever else I have on YouTube and Substack. and I'm also on the gram and the talk. My links are in bio. Um, yeah, I think overall, like, what can we do? We can't do anything. I feel like not like becoming a recluse or a hermit, but kind of like consolidating and like coming closer with like loved ones is really important. I'm nervous about the violence. I think there's been a lot of political violence since the pandemic, and I think that it's only getting worse. And I think it's quite scary because I'm someone who loves. I don't love a crowd, but I like big events. I like festivals. I like a concert. I like a fun night at the bar, the club, and those places are the places that are targeted. I mean, like schools too, which is tragic. Run, hide, fight. Which is another thing. Like I think adults don't understand not only how in tune the younger generations are with each other, but also how hurt and angry we are that the world isn't safe. Like places that you think should be safe, like okay, so all of the sexual harassment that comes out at all of these big, county districts, like the big one that podcast, I think it was Unsubscribed Pod. I think Oompaville talked about this, and they like uncovered like this huge and this is probably happening in many places because who hasn't had a teacher that put all the girls with the in the front and all the boys in the back like and then got arrested for or whatever, whatever. I mean, what a time. What a time. It is a Southwest dawn. So yeah, I think the advice is to reconnect with nature because what else can we do? I posted on LinkedIn like follow my Substack before we get drafted for war, which I think is so funny. I'm sorry, but it's so like I mean really, what are we gonna do? I mean, what are we gonna do? I see all the talks where like people people are like in the military getting deployed. Or you can watch the like people in Israel or in Lebanon or in Gaza getting bombed. Like you can watch that on TikTok. You can watch Ukraine and Russia going at it on TikTok. Like I don't I'm sure adults know, but I don't know if they truly understand how that affects young people and how it's what we see. It's like it's so beyond Hunger Games because it's right like in your face and it's so personalized. Like, how I think this is the truth where Suzanne Collins, she wrote it because during the war in Iraq, the TV channels would switch between the news and the war and then also reality TV, probably like Big Brother or whatever, which is like exactly what's going on because everyone's watching Love Island. I'm not watching Love Island. I think it's funny, and I used to watch UK Love Island and that's where I come from, but I'm not in it. I know it's really toxic. I know those reality TV shows and those dating shows are like not really the best representation of the population. But it is entertainment. And then also there's bombs and things like that. And I don't know I wonder what everybody else is thinking and feeling right now. I'm I'm sending love and peace and light out to everybody. I really hope that we all get through this one. I remember when I was beginning of the pandemic, Southwest on. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah. Um I remember the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, checking the news, I mean, minutes, and you would see the like COVID infections and deaths, and then you would see how everybody was coping. I mean, everybody was going insane, and and also the fact that people in charge, so leadership, which, I mean, it's really really sick how the people in leadership are never good. They're never good leaders. Like, I don't think, you are someone who came from money and are just, using money again, that, you already, your family already gave you. I don't know. And so everybody else has to, what is it, shit on companies time. And yeah, the fact that they want, not us, but they want, there's a huge like return to office, like, I don't know, productivity, whatever. It's so full of shit. Like, it's so full of shit. Like, I cannot emphasize how ridiculous that is. um I think it's been going on for a while too. Like, this whole trying to get people back into office so they can be sat alone in an empty, soulless office. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so out of touch. I really can't believe those types of people exist. I feel like, okay, if I get to the success where I'm in charge and I'm running a company, and I would have to have assistants, obviously. But right now I do my own hair and makeup, and I do my own outfitting, and I like film and record and like think of ideas, and then I edit and post and things like that. But if I got my own like team and I was in charge of my own like true, like, you know, expanding company. I just feel like I can't imagine I cannot imagine micromanaging someone. When I was a lead at the registrar of voters, I feel like I could barely stand, first of all, cuz if you're working, you're working. And if you want other people to work, they're going to work. And if they make a mistake, then we're going to have to deal with it later. Um but I'm not hovering over you and like, drooling down your neck and like editing and, nitpicking at every single word, every motion. I didn't have the capacity. I was overwhelmed. I was on the brink of extinction. But I mean, in those types of, okay, if that's the kind of office job that I was working at, like, I mean, I can't understand how people above me who are this is their life. Like, this is your life. This is not my life. I get to escape. You got to stay there. And you're using your energy to accost me for things that really don't matter. I'm holding up this team, and you want to walk me outside and say some dumb shit, like some dumb shit that doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter, and everyone thinks it's stupid. Like, and if I told everybody, they'd be like, that's, and when I tell people, they're like, that's so full of shit. That's so full of shit. And you want to know what? When I tell people, they're like, I didn't like that bitch anyway. Like, I didn't like her anyway. Like, fuck her. So, yeah. So, I think if I was in charge, you know, you have to have proper onboarding, proper training. You need to be compensated well, paid time off, vacations, um, bonuses. You need to have genuine team cohesion. You need to not only know what everybody's up to, be interested, but also understand the players. And I played lacrosse, bro. And it's just so ridiculous to me that I always get I mean, you're so insecure. You're so insecure that you're accosting me for eating you up, bro. Eating you up. So, like, as a team player, as someone who was voted by the team MVP, um, I feel like you need to understand who's playing, who's on the field, and I mean, strengths, and, I don't want to say weaknesses, I want to say areas of support. That you need to be able to clock that. And yeah, some people, I mean, maybe they're not capable, or they don't care, or they don't even understand what it is. But yeah, that's how I was always when I was playing lacrosse. I know who I'm passing back and forth with. I know who's going to run the ball down but who can't like set up a play. I know when my team's tired. I know when my team's tired and we need to take a rest and we need to pass the ball around because we can literally cannot be running up and down the field. We're tired. Um, you know, and I feel like that is very, very applicable to team situations in the workplace. You need to know what's going on, and how best to support and how best to lead and how to move people where they need to be moved to so that everybody can be at their best. Let me think. Yeah, well, I mean, I get this when I'm teaching too. Like when I'm leading teams, when I'm teaching, I feel like you know personalities, and some people are better than others, and you kind of you play the field, you work it out, you see others, and then you are able to motivate other people by being like, oh my gosh, we used to at the registrar of voters, there was a he was like a father, and he was so like, he was kind of sassy, but he was like about that. And we would always be like team rich because he would always do things and he would do it perfect, and it's like, okay, that's really good to have you're a star or whatever, or a couple stars, so that everybody else is like, okay, I want to work, I want to be attentive, I want to participate in whatever lecture, or I want to also speak to teacher or something like that. So yeah, that's like I feel like that's success as a leader, as a teacher, when people are not only just engaged but engaging each other. And then that kind of, I don't know if it's a positive feedback loop or whatever, but then people are able to elevate each other and learn from each other. And then you get to step back because, again, as a teacher, as a leader, as a team lead, there's a lot going on. I'm tired. If someone else can do something, please. I mean, I'm begging you. Help me out. If I have to do it, I guess I have to do it. Um yeah, and also like we need to have maybe a talk about maybe humor. I know I'm funny. I know I got the whole chat laughing. And I f- I feel like humor is a very important thing to have as someone who's in front of a people, because then you can relate and you can make people feel more comfortable. Like when I was teaching, I was an instructional assistant, I was a TA at UC San Diego for the School of Global Policy and Strategy. And what did I teach? I taught the international affairs core undergrad 101. 101, 102, I taught it for discussion. I taught the grad class for Chinese socioeconomic development, and then I taught a summer class for research. It was mainly for international students. And especially after the pandemic, you need someone in the front to be chill. Like you cannot be um a stickler for things. You cannot be someone who cannot connect to people even though you think you're connecting. Well, you think you're connecting, you think you said something, and the whole everyone's silent. Everyone in the group goes silent and they're looking at each other like, what did that person just say? Is she being for real right now? I mean, come on. My old boss, oh, so out of touch. we were at Earth Day at the county operations center, the COC, where the registrar of voters. And again, I owned that space. I was literally working the election. Like, I know that space. So I was working at my new job, working setting up for Earth Day or whatever. And one of our coworkers, like friends and partners in the community, he's like, you know, into urban sustainability. He's like a black man, an older black man. He's loud, he's enthusiastic, he's got something to say. We love it. And I'm not in this conversation. I'm setting up. I'm doing my job again, as I do, and I do it well, and I do it with style and grace. And I don't know what they were talking about, but all I overhear is she saying, "Yeah, and I'm a white woman in the equity space." Oh my God, you are so dense. Silence. Just crickets. So, and I've heard her say, like, "Oh, I'm comfortable with silence." Okay, that means that's not what's going on here. People are trying not to retort snarkily back at you, or they're just hoping that this interaction ends quickly so they can get away from you, girl. Like, don't act like a white woman in the equity space. Don't act like that. Oh my God, so stupid, so stupid. Ugh. So it's beyond stupid. It's offensive. It is offensive to say that type of shit. Because why don't you just be quiet? Maybe you should just be quiet and stop talking, because you just made a fool of yourself in someone who is well is respected, well connected, has experience, has clout, has has the experience, the lived experience that you're always talking about. Wow. Wow, some people are so asleep. So asleep. And it's the people who think they're woke. Wow, 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 wow. I totally forget. I totally forget where I was at. I just love to rant. I love to rant, and then no, I do look back. I do look back. I do edit. So I don't have that millennial pause. And so you don't have to watch. Um yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Um I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like it's so I think the summer solstice just happened. It's late, but it's still bright outside. Um Ooh, I don't know if I have any food in my home. I only have like a week left, so I guess I have rice and veg. Oh well, I'll have to see. I wanted to go to Balb and like I wanted to like film an aesthetic kind of video at the Rose Garden, and then I wanted to film um thrifting in Hilly. Um I don't know if I'm gonna get anything, but I definitely don't have any summer clothes. When I came back, it seems that I really only had winter clothes in my storage, and then I got some clothes from a friend, and they're cute, but they're not really me, which is fine. Which is fine. I still wear it. But yeah, we'll have to see. So I gotta eat. Gotta eat something. Oh my God. It is a beautiful day. So yeah, follow me. I think my next pod, we'll have to see how it all goes because I'm packing up and putting my stuff into storage. So, but I'm getting help from my friend, and think I think, and this may have to be a paid subscription pod because there's some hot tea. My friend works at this really, really iconic place. I used to go there all the time before we met. It's like a really good place for me to just drop by because it's on my way home, especially if I'm coming home from somewhere I'm traveling from. Because it's like a one-stop shop. It's Mona Lisa in Little Italy. It's a restaurant, a grocery store, and a deli. So you can just like I could eat something, and take stuff to go. And oh my god, there's so much drama. Oh my god, there's so much drama. I love it. And it's like, you mess with the family, you come to me on the day my daughter is to be wed. It's like that. And I posted a TikTok and I talk about it all the time, but I used to work in service, and this will be my last story before I cut the cameras. But I worked at Heidi Lao Hot Pot. I worked at Heidi Lao Hot Pot at UTC in La Jolla. And first of all, if you work at UTC, Westfield UTC in La Jolla, you were also working everywhere else. Like I feel like I worked back a house. I feel like all those people had already worked at least one job elsewhere around UTC, like Eureka or DTF Din Tai Fung. And I remember, oh my god, I don't know if I can say names, but um, let's say Jay. Oh, there were two Jays. Um, they were both tall. Oh my god. Okay, back of house Jay was he was a single dad. He was very sassy. He was very sassy, and he was really funny. I liked him a lot. He was really funny. Um, and I think he early on was like, yeah, I used to work at DTF, and I literally walked out. Like I got into such a big fight with the manager or whatever. I was like, "Oh, you know." But he was really funny. He's like very helpful in a sassy way. He's like, "Come on, let's go find the pickles," or something like that, which I feel like is really it's like fun because like then as someone who's like kind of new to the scene, there's no walls. It's just like we're just here, we're just cooking food and like serving rich and annoying rich Chinese people. Okay, so that wasn't even the drama. Oh, but part of the back of house thing, oh my god, it was and I'm okay, I'm ethnically Chinese. And on my face, I look very Chinese. And if you're Asian, any Asian, they think I'm them. Like and they will talk to me in their native language, and I feel like they will not want to talk to me in English. I've had a friend that her mom was Viet, and I don't know any Viet. I didn't know any Viet. I don't know any Viet. Viet's like one of the hardest languages in my opinion, and she knows enough she wouldn't talk to me in English. She knows I could it doesn't matter. I feel like it's like a comfort level, or like your face is just so familiar that I don't even care that you don't understand what I'm saying. um so yeah, locals only. So that is like back of house is half Chinese people who can only speak Chinese, like older Chinese people, and then people fresh from the border, like not fresh off the boat, freshly crossed from the border from like Guatemala, Colombia, like Kim, not like barely even speaking English, and like blasting. I'm blasting like that, like kind of like really like mariachi, like really loud music, and you can hear it because it would be like the kitchen, and there's a hallway, and then it goes out into the front of house. You could hear it all the way, like and it didn't matter because we need those dishwashers to be working. We need them to be in their zone. Yeah. And I would have to leave at like, oh my god, yeah, I'd walk across the street, which is, I'm glad La Jolla is safe, but also sometimes scary. And people are around UTC, and especially college town. Like people are always awake, but yeah, I'd have to leave really late, like one a or sometimes we'd go out for drinks. That's how it goes. Oh my god, the drama. Anyways, that's not even the drama, but there was so much drama. Um, and so, oh, how do I even get to this? I was working back of house, and I was working with a lot of people who were training. So we were all hired to be servers or hostesses in the front of house, and we never got out of the training period, which was super frustrating. And then, but at the end of the day, you're grateful because front of house management was, oh my god, insane. So I think I had a friend, and this is serious. This is like serious business. This is serious legal work right now. But what I had been hearing was that there was just a lot of gossip and a lot of like prying into people's behavior, like who's hooking up with who. You know what I mean? Which it is restaurant, and it is a big restaurant, and also like it was very young people. It was like college aged people, like who have. I mean, that's really all we're doing. We're just working and then going to get drinks, and then and then I think I heard, oh my, there was so much drama. It's like too many people are all like in these. Oh my god, the love triangles. I mean, cringe first of all, for very cringe. And there were love triangles and there were crushes, and yeah, people were hooking up with other people and then dating other people, and then people were getting angry and crying. And I feel like the front of house managers were facilitating this, and this is happening not just at Haidilao. The drama is like cooking there, but it's happening at, I heard there was a big event there, not a big event, but an incident at Minsokchon, which I feel like is a place where incidents happen because it's such a place to, because it's karaoke, it's Korean food, it's late night, it's drinking heavily. And I feel like I've also like drunkenly stumbled around Minsokchon, and I could literally see it when my friend was telling me the drama that happened. People were just too drunk and crying over, the love triangles and people wanting people, other people, and things like that. And that's not even the drama. So the front of house manager was a woman, an older woman, and she wasn't, she was Taiwanese. So she's not mainland. Heidi Lao is a mainland thing. Um at least I think yeah, I think she was Taiwanese. And she like would on Instagram, and I didn't even follow her, but I heard um that she would heavily do that, like, oh my god, what is doin, like kind of like that edit, that heavy, like your big eyes, really pale skin kind of edits. And yeah, she was just cringe. She was the one who was asking like, oh, who's she hooking up with, to everybody. I was like, well, it wasn't about me, obviously. I was out of the business. I was in the back of house. Like I was just having a good I was having a good time. I was having a good time. I mean, I was very upset a lot of the time. I quit on the spot one day when like five people didn't show up, and then like front of house was like yelling at us through the walkie-talkies. I didn't even have a walkie-talkie, but I was like, if you're going to yell at us when we're literally picking up the slack, I'm leaving. Like F you. So, anyways, the front of house manager, she was constantly flirting with the young boys. Again, this was a very young cast of characters because it's right across the street from UC San Diego. So a lot of us were like in school. I was like freshly grad. But we were like college age people. So we're inexperienced and, I don't know, full of light and innocence. I remember, oh my god, yeah. Just the jokes, and like it's just like light banter, we love some banter. And she would just be in people's business. She would give, I don't know if it was her card or the company card. um I never paid for drinks after because we would always go to Eureka after, and then we would go to Wind and Sea. Oh my god. Oh, so embarrassing. Oh, so embarrassing. Okay. So we'd go but I think she would throw down the company card for like the Minsok-chan incident. And I think she went to Nova, like Norror, which like back then I was going to Nova too. You know, Like, but also like, why would you? If I saw her and our other front of house manager at Norver, I'd be throwing down. I mean, Norver is already a really aggressive place. At least like sometimes when I've gone, I feel like downtown's pretty aggressive. PB's pretty aggressive. I mean, even Hillcrest gets aggressive. Like I've seen fights at Riches for no reason. Um, and yeah, I could not stand her. She was so fake and annoying and mean. And apparently, I think what happened is that one of the boys, young boy, cute. So we were still masked up, and it was a Chinese place, and it was food service, so we were like masked up. I remember my friend, I didn't really think he was cute. I think I had eyes for somebody else. Oops. But my friend was like, oh, he's cute. But when he takes his mask off, I'm like, oh, mask fished. I remember that was so iconic. I remember when I took my one of my masks off when I was getting a drink of water during one of my first discussion like halls that I was leading, fall quarter. I remember there was bated breath. There was like, so I'm like, I mean, I'm talking, obviously. I'm in charge of the class. It's like 30 kids, I think. I mean, again, when I say kids, these people are my age and or older. I just happen to be the teaching assistant. And I remember I'm in front of the class. I'm getting, and it's so funny. I'm drinking my drink, and it's literally like bated breath, like silence. Everybody's watching me. I take my mask down. I think there's a sigh of relief. Like that is so funny to me. It's so funny to me. There's a sigh of relief that I'm like, I'm not mask fishing. I'm not like, my bottom half, match. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so yeah, so she was like, "Oh, like he's cute from just like, the eyes up." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't care. I'm not really, looking at him." I was like I had a crush on one of the guys on the one of the line cooks, and it's just because you like you're like always looking at each other, and it's so delicate. You're like handing each other, and maybe I was just, you know, a city girl down, hot girl summer, but yeah, I don't know. Um it did not nothing like happened out of that, but there's something about like working with someone all the time, seeing them all the time, and then like I don't know, those interactions, and you're like on breaks together. Oh my god, yeah. um so yeah, that guy, he he was like a kind of funny. He was very strong. Like you have to be a very strong boy to like lift those hot pots. He was like, I think they were ripped. Um, and he, I think, because I went back like maybe a month or two ago, completely new cast of characters. And I was talking to the bartender, and I was like, "What happened?" And he was like, "Oh, he filed like a $10,000 like sexual harassment lawsuit against her." Oh my god. And I remember because first of all, I was back at house. Second of all, I did not care about these people. Like I had my friends there. Those are, and like, sometimes we hung out outside. I cared about, and I got along with back at house. But these people that I didn't care about, I did not care about them. I was not in tune. I was not paying attention. So, but I would hear people be like, "Oh, did you hear what she was saying, talking to Jay, not back at house Jay, but front of house Jay?" Um, she was like, she's like heavy flirting with these boys, these young boys. um she's like, oh my god, you're so tall. Oh my god. Oh, and then I think the tea was that she was in this super toxic on and off relationship with a boy, and she would like always be in and out of this relationship, and I feel like she might have always been like talking about it or posting about it and stuff. So yeah, that's what happens. Lawsuit. I'm glad I didn't have to do it, but I was really upset with how it all went down because people really just want to be able to live comfortably. And now you're involving all this petty emotional drama into all of this, and it's just ridiculous. Like, can we not pay our bills? Can we just pay our fucking bills? Like, why do I have to, you know, I mean, I think I was not a part of it. I think I was probably too pretty to even be pulled up to front of house, and like there would be too much competition. But yeah, the other pretty girls were getting, you know, literally like harassed for like who, you know, who are you hooking up with? Who are you hooking up with? Like, why are you asking people like that? That's so strange. That's such strange, weird, creep behavior. Oh my god, yeah, so crazy. I feel like hmm, I like hot pot. Oh, Haidalao is so expensive for no reason. I feel like hot pot should be like 30 bucks at most. I feel like Haidilao at the beginning you're starting at 100 because you have to get the soups and you have to get the meat. And you want to get a drink. And you want to get veg. It's king of service, so that's why you get it. But if you're in like another Asian country and like hot pot is just the norm, like go somewhere else, like for real. Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm actually hungry now. I actually should eat something. Thank you for watching. I hope it was entertaining. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a good day. Yeah, follow me on my socials for more. And I'll see you next time when maybe we'll be talking about more locals only drama. Okay, okay, bye.